Get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome back to In Black America Radio. It's your host, Rasta B. It is June 8th, 2018, 9:05, and today's topic, or today's title show is the Black Race, meaning one aim, goal, and destiny. The guest calling number is 646-716-4654. Today's show, we would not be having Smoke on today. He's out on assignment. So you're just going to be listening to me. So, basically today's show was inspired by events going on in the news, like Trump and the pardons and things of that nature. So, it's just funny because in 2018, 400 plus years of dealing with this, we will be having strategic moves, solutions, or counterpoints. And it seems like we're just following the same 1960s mantra from the civil rights movement. And to me, that makes no sense. I was listening to a brother speak. This brother named Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. So I was listening to the brother speak. He have a speech called "The Magu Foolification of Africa" by Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. It's 3 parts. Very important that you listen to the speech because it relates to Black America. But I'm gonna play the 18 minutes of part of the speech right now, and again you can listen to the rest later. Hold on.
To secure their independence from the colonial masters. Historians will remind us that we were first enslaved, that Africans were taken, and this we seldom say. The first civilization to take Africans out of this continent were the Arabs. And they took Africans from the eastern coast. And it's sad that in that part of the world, there are not many Africans who remain, because it was in the business of the Arab enslaver to castrate Africans. We never say that, but we must say it because it is historically significant. Then the Europeans came, the Portuguese came, the Spaniards came, the Germans came, the French came, the Belgians came. Africa became the hunting ground for the European colonizers, and we were the sport. We built, our ancestors built the United States of America. Our ancestors built Europe. And when slavery had lost its shine and sheen, the Europeans abolished it. But they replaced it with yet another pernicious enterprise, the colonization of Africa. The Europeans sat in Berlin, in Germany, in 1884, and they looked at the map of Africa and parceled it out. The British had their share. The Germans had their share, and Tanzania or Tanganyika was their share, as was Rwanda and Burundi. The Spaniards were Johnny-come-latelys in the arena, and they got little Equatorial Guinea and Southwest Africa. The French were here, the Portuguese were here, and we were colonized. This time round, they did not take us away. They came here, and they controlled us, and they told us, not in so many words, that we were children of a lesser God. And we were treated as if we were children of a lesser God. In fact, they told us that on the day of creation, we were merely hewers of wood and drawers of water. And if anybody were to doubt it in 1948, it was more blatant when Hendrik Foward instituted the apartheid regime in South Africa. But yet there is a sense in which the God that we worship never sleeps. The colonial enterprise ran its course. And the European tribes, the Europeans never called themselves tribes, they called them nations, were engaged in a war. First in 1918, the European tribes fought, and they had something called the League of Nations, which died. Then they fought again in 1945. And what is unique about the European nations is that when they are engaged in tribal wars, they call them world wars. So there was another war between 1945, 1939, and 1945. And after that, a new kid on the block, the United States of America, took the lead in saying that colonialism was something that was undesirable. But at that time, Africans were never quiet. Those who had been taken out had already started agitating. Many of us here will remember Marcus Garvey, of whom Bob Marley says Garvey was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America. And many of us will remember W.E.B. Du Bois. Many of us will remember that they started agitating that Africans must regain their dignity and their independence. And indeed, in 1847, in Liberia, a small group of Africans were brought back in Monrovia, and Liberia became the first independent black nation in the continent of Africa. So soon thereafter, in Sierra Leone, they also created yet another colony. But Africa was colonized, except Ethiopia, which they tried to take in 1938 and exiled Professor Dr. Haile Selassie. And unfortunately, they were defeated, as you remember, in the Battle of Adowa. Africa can defeat European tribes. This history is necessary that we are able to appreciate the freedom that we gained. So that Garvey came, W.E.B. Du Bois came, but there was another crop after the 1940s who had had the advantage of European education. And there were people in Europe also who are beginning to recognize that indeed equality was necessary. And this was not anything new. In 1776, in the United States of America, the American state sitting in Philadelphia in the United States of America declared unto themselves that all men are born equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A few years later in France, after the revolution, they also recognized that we were to be equal, so that the colonized nations which had now taken Africans thought that they were safe. They had taken Leopold Sédar Senghor from Senegal to Paris, and they thought that they were creating a little Frenchman. Little did they know that they were creating somebody who would want to overthrow them. They took Felix Houphouët-Boigny from Cote d'Ivoire, and they thought that they were creating somebody who would be subservient to them. They took Ahmed Sekou Touré and Modibo Keïta, and they thought they were safe. Little did they know that they were creating the future leaders and agitators against French colonization. And it did not stop there. The Portuguese also took Agostinho Neto and Amilcar Cabral and Eduardo Mondlane to Lisbon. Little did they know that those individuals would be the catalyst that would be necessary in the process of decolonization. The British also had their fair share. They took others. They took Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, Hastings Kamuzu Banda, Kenneth David Kaunda, and many others to the United Kingdom, Jomo Kenyatta. Little did they know that those would be the individuals who sometimes later, and in Ghana, of course, they took the Osagefo, Kwame Nkrumah, and in Nigeria, they took Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sultan of Sokoto. There is a sense, therefore, in which these individuals started recognizing that having been enslaved, having been colonized, we now had to liberate ourselves. And the agitation started, and Kwame Nkrumah and his Ghana acquired independence in 1957. And I still can hear Kwame Nkrumah through the vicissitudes of time saying in Accra, Ghana, that Ghana is free and will never be colonized again. But the freedom of Ghana means nothing if the rest of Africa is not. I can hear Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere saying that he's prepared to delay the independence of Tanganyika so that Tanganyika, Kenya, Uganda would become independent at one time. Mwalimu could see the future with the exactitude of a Jewish prophet. Jomo Kenyatta and Obote could not. And therefore, we gained independence as separate states, and the story will be told shortly. So what do we see? The agitation, the demand by the people that we must be decolonized. And why is it that we were asking that we must be decolonized? Why is it that we were demanding that we must regain our independence? Because throughout the ages, it was always the divine plan that men must be masters of their destiny. And when we gained our independence, the leaders of the day were eloquent as they were clear that the reason why we were asking to be independent is because we wanted to take charge of our affairs. We wanted to be the governors. We wanted to have our young men and women acquire education. We wanted to control the production of our food through agriculture. We wanted to build our infrastructure. We wanted to improve the quality of the lives of our people by improving their health. We wanted to eliminate poverty. We were clear on what we wanted, and this message was as clear in West Africa as it was clear in East Africa, as it was clear in Central Africa, as it was clear in Northern Africa. So that if you listen to Kwame Nkrumah, it's as if you'd listen to Agostinho Neto. And if you listen to Neto, it's as if you'd listen to Samora Moses Machel. And if you listen to Ahmed Ben Bella in the Maghreb, it's as if you'd listen to Patrice Emery Lumumba. There is a sense in which there was unanimity that this was the only way. And we attained independence. And I remember so very vividly in 1957 in Casablanca, Morocco, was it in 1960, when the then 8 independent African countries met on the Osogye for Kwame Nkrumah, was clear that we must ensure that everybody else regains their independence, and that we must remember that the colonial master is not asleep, And that if we don't unite, he'll come under other guises through the neo-colonial project, but they listened to Kwame Nkrumah not. And even before they assembled in 1963, in the month of May in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, no sooner had countries started attaining independence that the neo-colonial project started taking root. And in 1960, the first coup d'etat and assassination took place in Togo when Sylvanus Olympio was eliminated. 1 year later, Patrice Emery Lumumba was eliminated. So that in 1963, in the month of May, when 32 heads of state and government assembled in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, there were several speeches, but 3 speeches stand out. Kwame Nkrumah's speech, Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere's speech, and Emperor Haile Selassie's speech. Haile Selassie was the host, and his inimitable style, he reminded the congregation who are present in Africa Hall in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, that was a momentous occasion, and that the long-term health of Africa not only required but demanded that Africa must pull in the same direction Haile Selassie said. And Mwalimu took the baton from Haile Selassie and repeated the same words, celebrating the fact that we were independent and we had the opportunity of determining our affairs. But the greatest of the speeches was that of the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah had a sense of urgency which everybody else did not have. He said, not in so many words, but in effect, that if we want to immunize ourselves from the diabolical machinations of the erstwhile colonial master, now turned neo-colonizer, we have to move here as one Africa, with a United States of Africa, with one army, with one currency, with one central bank, and with one nation. But they listened to him not. They had started getting used to the trappings of power. So what they came out with on that day in the month of May 1963 was a weak organization of African unity, the OAU, which many commentators were quick to describe in many ways and many times as a toothless bulldog. It was never a dog. It did not have teeth, but the effect of it is that it did not do very much. Some say it was a talking shop. Mzee Warioba, who was then active in political life and in other sectors, will attest to that. Yet later, we were to create another body, the African Union, and we'll have something to say about that. So we come out of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in 1963, clear as to what we want to do. The African politician begins to emerge. We have them in different parts, but they begin to show characters that are totally inimical to our expectations. You of the Waswahili say, maskini akipata matako huliambwata. Maskini walipata matako zililiambwata. They started getting used to the trappings of power. And we started having countries which we thought would liberate us. And I'm talking about the hygiene of the politics. It started disappearing. Many of these individuals now thought that they were demigods, suffering from what I call the Messiah complex, thinking that they had been brought to Africa to liberate her, and that they suffered from 2 major diseases. One of them is the martyr syndrome, and the other one is the Messiah complex. They think that their countries owed them Africa started producing leaders that one cannot recognize. How many of you will forget Jean Bedel Bokassa of Central African Republic, that man who murdered little children in the streets because they did not buy a uniform from his wife? That's Jean Bedel Bokassa. How many of you will forget Mobutu Sese Seko Kukumbendu Wanzamba, who changed his country's name and presided over a kleptocratic regime, the Democratic Republic?
Yes, I'm back. So that was PLO Lumumba, and that comes from the Magu Foolification of Africa. So you should listen to the whole speech because it's deep. So the reason why I played that is because in that 18-minute portion of the speech, he's basically given a timeline of the struggle of Africa. That first Arab attack, how the Africans out of Africa into the foreign lands, who was taken to the foreign lands, how they spoke out and fought against and became agitators against that type of system. Speaks on a unification of really black thought, where we're not caught up in the divisions, in what sector you belong to and things of this nature. He's speaking on economy, which without an economy, you're not going to be able to survive in this world. Because that's the only way to survive in the world, especially a world of competition. We live in a world of competition. You're not going to be able to elevate if you're just willing to be the workforce. So we have to change our mind frame, basically, is what I'm saying. He's breaking down how when a lot of these Africans got into power, a lot of them let the power seduce them. And now they're becoming, that's how the dictator comes about. And then oppression on your people come about. So there's a lot of, I always say when it comes to the past, you're supposed to just learn from it and keep what works, discard what didn't, and learn from what didn't. We have to be on one page and one goal, but that's not something that I believe that you're supposed to teach first. I feel like the order should be one, your home, and that's working on your bloodline, meaning before you step out and even worry about actively the fears of other black people out in the streets, make sure your bloodline is moving right and exact. That way they can carry on your message as they get older. It don't make sense for you to be out here telling black people what they should do and your daughter thotting and your son out there kicking in doors. So that don't make any sense. So you start at your home. As you're starting out at your home, you raise your children up as entrepreneurs and dealing with the concept of building an economy. So whatever they're doing, you're using that as a tool to be part of a black economy, whether you're creating it, a part of it, or creating a new sector. of it. That's how the youth need to be thinking. And what you're going to do is, the ones without the knowledge, unfortunately, they're going to die off by the wind or get caught up into that jail system. The ones who don't, these are going to have to be the leaders that builds that economy. Once this economy is built, we speaking on the perfect society type equation, everybody else will fall in line, because now the same kids that's getting thrown into the system, these kids now will have an avenue in which they can participate within an economy where they won't be out there kicking in doors, because they'll be able to get jobs. So what do we do since we're not in that situation? Again, that starts in the house. It's always going to start within the home, because you have to have responsibility to your own actions and what it is that you're doing. So what you producing and what you building, that's what's going to change the future. If you have children and you're raising them up to be entrepreneurs, and let's say it's 10, then you got 10 families that's pushing children that's trying to find solutions to improve the black race. Actively. Not in theory, not, yeah, mom, I still remember. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. We're talking about, these are people that, whatever their career path is, they're pushing that towards how to excel within within blackness. So if they're a doctor, they're doing their doctor duties, but they're also trying to figure out some type of medicine or remedy to help black people that have sickle cell, instead of complaining about it. Or you might have a black doctor that decides, you know what, let me recalibrate all the medicine amounts that black people should have to take. Let me check the blood types and see the effects of these medicines just on their spare time. And then they write in books, and then we're getting real black information from reputable sources that's help. These are things that we can do, but you have to, I feel like you have to instill that into the youth, and that's with your babies. And when you have your children growing up understanding that your purpose is to excel, build, and create something that's going to help advance the black race. And if that becomes the goal, even if it's just something that you say and that kid just picks up on it, that'll be the common thought process. And I don't think nobody of any different religions or creeds or anything should have a problem with teaching their child, no matter what you do in life, all know that you're doing it to advance the black race. Why would that be a problem? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what we should be instilling for the babies. That's how you end up having a black. You start to see a generation of black people with a different mind frame. That's because you have to teach that. Politics. Because we don't have the money to really pay these politicians, you're going to have to do the old-fashioned call them, hag them, write, show up, and use your body for change. That's how the marches and the protests and all that shit have to work. But it can't just be to be the opposition of the side you don't agree with. You have to do that for the side you do agree with and force them to change policies or to push policies. It's not about complaining. It's about doing. Because at the end of the day, we were fighting. When the white people came in and conquered, when the Arabs came and conquered, when the Chinese and everybody else decided to carve up Africa and go out to different nations and conquer them through religion and things of this nature, they didn't ask permission. You know what I'm saying? They didn't march and protest and have, no, they came in and they conquered you. They conquered you because they didn't want to be a part of you. So they stood back, they watched you, and they knew how to carve you up. So as you forgetting who you are, because you want to mix in and you want to be part of everything else and what everybody else is doing, they're never going to forget who you are. And they're playing you. So you're never going to win. So these are the things that we have to stop doing, because we are in a war. It may not be a war, a bloody war, but it's it's definitely an economic war, because we don't have an economy. So we're economically, no, I can't say economically. We're on the same levels. Basically, black people and bums don't have an economy. That's the only two people in America that don't have an economy. Black people and bums. And so name me somebody else with no economy that's thriving in America in a capitalistic society. So the whole thing is we need an economy. That's how we're going to protect ourselves. Another thing, black people, everybody needs to incorporate yourself. Become a LLC, sole proprietor, and all of that other good shit. You know what I'm saying? And take advantage of all of these business loopholes that they're setting up and giving away. Like, figure out the game, learn how to play it, and take advantage of it. And stop letting people play us. Because we got situations now, I'm about to play another clip, where this ain't the right one. Yeah, where Trump talking about pardoning people, right? So, all right, so they got this whole joint right now. Let me get ready to play this right now. All right, so this is Trump going to be talking about the whole pardon stuff, him pardoning people and all that stuff like that, right? So we're gonna see about this real quick. Yeah, I'm not going to continue. All right, so what's going on is this. So Trump's out here talking about he's gonna get the pardon and all kind of shit like that. So he's now saying he wants the NFL players to come down, talk, have a conversation, and come up from this, you know what I'm saying, people that's locked up, you want me to send them back, you know what I'm saying, to freedom and whatever like that. And it's like, since when did not doing nothing become doing something? That's what I don't understand. If I don't understand if you saying Trump is stupid and he's opening up the door and he's like, yo, hey, you know what, if I offended you, hey, come up here to the White House. I give you 2 minutes to go inside the safe. No, 1 minute to go inside the safe and grab as much money as you want. Whatever you get, you can keep. Bygones be bygones. And he like, nah, fuck you, you racist piece of shit. I don't understand that. Listen, if you get the opportunity to talk, I don't understand the problem to speak. Basically is what I'm saying, especially as a man. If you get the opportunity to speak, I don't understand why you wouldn't speak. If the President of the United States give you an opportunity as a football player to speak on behalf of black people or the justice system or whatever the angle is, and you can have that opportunity to do that, And I don't understand why you don't do that. I don't understand why do you say to yourself, I'm not going to do anything, and then we're going to then take ignoring and not doing nothing as power instead of taking advantage of an opportunity to do something. There's a lot of black people that's arrested, political prisoners that's still incarcerated. Now, we're not going to go crazy and think that they're going to be able to free Mumia or Matulu. But there's other political prisoners, there's other wrongfully arrested that you can look up their stories and add to your list and bring them home. There's other high-profile drug dealers, since people want to bring drug dealers back, like Guy Fisher, that you could bring home. So to turn around and be like, no, I'm not going to speak, I'm not going to say nothing, fuck Trump and all that, when he's opening the door saying, hey, I got the door's open. Y'all want something? Did anybody want something? And you like, no. Knowing good and damn well, 8 years of Barack Obama, first 4 years you said, oh, he couldn't do nothing for us yet. This is the first 4 years. He's trying to get to the second term. The second term, he's going to do something with black people. Then when the second term came, all you heard black people say was, well, we didn't ask for nothing, so we can't expect anything. Then towards the end of it, it was like, oh, and they also said, oh, just wait towards the end. Why should you look out towards the end? Then the last 2 years, then the last year, and then you start to hear black people say that in the last year, well, it's just the image, the symbolism. It inspires another generation of black children. And I'm like, so 8 years went by. So no, let's do the whole math. So 8 years of George Bush go by, 9/11, we didn't do nothing. We were just scared, thinking that we was Americans, looking at spying on Arabs for the whites. Then 8 years of Barack Obama, so now 6 years of nothing being done for black people. And now it will be, and I keep telling you, 8 years of Trump. So my question is, if that's what, 24, if I'm not mistaken, but if that is 24 years of nothing happening, I mean, this is how 100 years happen. This is how 100 years happen. You see what I'm saying? Because we're making stupid decisions. And now I'm going to let you listen to what's going on now with Trump and as he's speaking. This is called Trump considered pardon Muhammad Ali, wants NFL players to recommend people to pardon. Now he can't pardon Muhammad Ali because the Supreme Court overturned his conviction. So, but the NFL players could recommend people to pardon. That would be cool. All right, so check this out.
I thought Alice yesterday was beautiful. I thought Jack Johnson, which was recommended by Sylvester Stallone and some great boxers, I thought Jack Johnson was a great one. I'm thinking about somebody that you all know very well, and he went through a lot, and he wasn't very popular then. Okay? And he wasn't very popular then. No, I'm not thinking about O.J. But he's not, only you could say O.J. But he was not very popular then. He certainly, his memory is very popular now. I'm thinking about Muhammad Ali. I'm thinking about that very seriously. And some others. And some folks that have sentences that aren't there. But I am thinking about Muhammad Ali. Hold on a second for your fire. In fact, we're doing right now recommendations on, frankly, we're doing recommendations on Muhammad Ali. Say it, Peter. What?
Yeah, so he did all that build up for Muhammad Ali, but he can't do Muhammad Ali because his conviction was already overturned by the Supreme Court. So, He was misunderstood on that. But the whole thing is, when you're looking at the side, turn around and be like, yo, we out here damn near pandering to fucking black people into the world to show that we not racist and shit. Look, let me show you how much I'm not racist. Hey, black people, what can I do to prove that I'm not racist? And you're going to turn around and say, fuck you? Nah, be like, oh, you want to prove something that you ain't racist? Oh, okay. How about this? Put $10 million into the fucking... See, we don't got the economy. That's why it's hard to really understand what to do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, where do we put anything, any resources, anything like that? But what you do is you say put some policies in place then on the books. We don't want little trinkets and gifts and little money and shit like that. You know what we want? Donald Trump or Mr. President or whatever. This is what we want. We want a bill that allows us to grow the black economy. Here's our bill. We want a bill like we want it from you. No, you come in with a bill. And the bill showing that, you know what? Since we all recognize the atrocities and shit of slavery and the effects of slavery, and everybody recognizes this shit, right? And we trying to do right and things like that by taking down the Confederate flag and things of this nature. Let's write a policy that allows black business people to be able to rebuild black America. Here's our bill, here's our shit showing we need this amount of time where this is the pay structure or the tax structure, whatever, and we work around that shit. You see what I'm saying? They ain't going to just take no shit. They're going to chip away and all kind of shit. You got to fight for some and end up losing a little. But you pass policy, and then you sit there and let them gamble on that shit. Let them look at you and be like, see, look at niggas. No, it's not know something. It's niggas is stupid. Niggas is dumb. Niggas don't know how to do shit but work. Give them the money. Give them the time and the no taxes, and let's see what they do. And watch us build. You see what I'm saying? And then when we build and then we securing ourselves, then we don't got to worry about that shit. But what happens is we want to work within a society and then complain and bitch about how we're being treated in a society, knowing that we've always been mistreated in their society. So if you've been mistreated in their society, then how do you think you're not going to be mistreated in their economy? It goes hand in hand. It's the same thing. That's why we need our own economy. That way, even when you're working within their economy, because we ain't speaking segregation, we speaking competition. So even if you're working within their economy, you could still be like, you know what? I work for them, but I live amongst the black economy. So that money is still transferring from your white paying job to the black economy. So you're adding resources and money back and wealth back to the economy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not segregation. It's not all black people just going to work for black people and that's it, and it's going to be that type. No, it's going to be competition. You know what I'm saying? And that's how this shit going to be. But it's going to be black people being able to have better opportunities at working. Because if you have a conviction, you may not be able to work in a white society, but you'll be able to work in a black society. You may not be able to live in the white society paying $500, $600, $700, $1,000 in rent or some shit like that. Where in the black society, your rent might be cheaper. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you live in some rundown slum tenement. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean that because you're within the black economy. So it's not going to. So we'll have more control about our livelihood. Without that, we're subjugated to other groups of people, and all they're going to do is exploit us because this is a capitalistic society. So the economy protects you, basically, is what I'm saying. When the economy is strong, your people is strong. Because that's how you then become the controller of the education that you have and so forth and so on. When you have an economy, you have children that you can raise up and teach them to attack, teach them to strategize, teach them how to find the weakness within and capitalize off it. That's what the Chinese did. You see what I'm saying? So here's some more of what Trump talking about.
We have 3,000 names. We're looking at them. Of these 3,000 names, many of those names really have been treated unfairly. You know, this is a group of 3,000 that we've assembled. And I would get more thrill out of pardoning people that nobody knows, like Alice yesterday. I thought Kim Kardashian was great because she brought Alice to my attention. Alice was so great, and the way she left that jail and the tears and the love that she has with her family, I mean, to me, that was better than any celebrity that I could pardon. So we're looking at it, but we are looking at literally thousands of names of people that have come to our attention that have been treated unfairly or where their sentence is far too long. I didn't invite him. No, I didn't invite LeBron James, and I didn't invite Steph Curry. We're not going to invite either team, but we have other teams that are coming. You know, if you look, we had Alabama, national champion. We had Clemson, national champion. We have the New England Patriots. We have beef last year. I think we'll have the Caps. I mean, we'll see. You know my attitude? They want to be here. It's the greatest place on earth. I'm here. If they don't want to be here, I don't want them.
You see? But see, but at the same time, it's like that is real. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about likes and all that shit like that. It's about, yo, listen, the opportunity is here. Mm-hmm. You want it, you don't want it. Well, I don't like you. Listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got to be friends. No. That's my problem. And that's why I played P.L. Lumumba's speech. Because I wanted, if you listen to the beginning, you listening to fighting. You listening to agitators. You listening to people who want independence and freedom. People that want control. And they want to manage their own lives, and they want to direct where they're going. And now we're in a position where we're not doing nothing. We're literally sitting here saying we're going to resist and not do nothing for 8 years. And the crazy part about it is, literally, we sat here. Barack Obama did not go to black events, did not go to black conferences, did not go to black meetings and think tanks and shit like that. He went to the Apex and the Jewish shit 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He went to other people, different meetings with all of that shit multiple times. He's never went to a black organization and spoke to black America. I spoke to black people, black elites, went to black platforms, none of that shit. He never represented for black people. So it's funny that we sat there for 8 years and we smiled at the back of the bus. We smiled as he gave rights to gays. We smiled as he secured the rights for women. We smiled as he sat there and gave money to corporations. We smiled as he sat there and dropped bombs on drones and all kind of shit after getting the World Peace Prize and all kind of shit. The Nobel Peace Prize you get. He gets the Nobel Peace Prize that starts wars after. And it's like, and we smiled in the back. And then when every time we said, but what about black? Shut the hell up. He ain't the president of the black people. He the president of the United States. He's the president of everybody. And we just sat there and smiled. Don't worry. Wait till the next year. He can't do nothing because that's going to mess it up. Let's wait until the next. And then we smiled again as nothing was done for black people. We sat there, we asked him, yo, we getting shot down and shit, but yo, Barack, you want to say anything? Smiled. Nothing happened. Now we're in a position now where the quote-unquote racists are sitting over here in the office, and he opening the checkbook, and he like, yo, I got the checkbook open. Give me a pen. How much y'all want? How much y'all want? Y'all come up here. How much y'all want? Yo, I'm writing checks. And you like, I'm not going up there because I don't like what you say about minorities and people of color. You're a racist. You call my the other football players, you call the sons of bitches, and that was disrespectful. And none of y'all got charities? None of y'all football players got charities? Y'all got mad when Kim Kardashian went up there and got that black woman out of jail. Because the talks was she was going up there to speak about prison reform. Well, that's code word for I'm gonna tell you who I want out, but for the tabloids, we're just gonna say we're speaking on prison reform. But this is who I want out. And Trump got around like that. Hi-yow. But y'all forgot that Meek Mills was supposed to go and see Trump, and Jay-Z stopped him. Meek Mill is still under the thumb of that judge. Meek Mill could have went and spoke to Trump and asked for a fucking pardon. He wouldn't. Jay-Z told him not to do that. That's why he didn't do that. So he could have got a pardon, and he could have spoke to Trump about the system. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, that whole song and dance or whatever like that. Because see, what happened is, and this is what kills me when it comes to black people, is we complain about what's being done to us, and we complain about who's speaking for us, but we never step up and do shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can't sit there and say, "Oh man, yo, fuck Trump. Ain't nobody talking, man. Fuck that nigga. Ain't nobody listening to no goddamn Trump. Fuck Trump." And then it's like, yo, black delegation, who wants to come up here and speak to me and explain to me about what y'all need? Man, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Nobody listening to you. Kiss my ass, Trump. And then fucking let me think of somebody that's I don't know, some Chinese come up and says, "Hey, Trump, I want to speak for the black people." You know what I'm saying? So they're like, "All right, come up here." And then they're like, all right, black people, so what we're going to do is this. We're going to hook you up with weave. We're going to make sure there's more resources going towards nail shops and salons and Chinese restaurants. And we're going to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, what kind of shit is that, Joe? Yo, that's fucked up. And it's like, wait, so you're going to complain of what the fuck the allocations went towards you because you didn't go up and represent yourself. So somebody else stepped up to represent you, misrepresented you, and now you're going to complain for another 50 years about how fucked up shit is for you. And then when you get another chance and opportunity to speak, if the Democrats tell you not to speak, you're not going to speak, and let it happen again to you. That doesn't make sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? If the man is sitting over here, just like he said to April Ryan, the White House correspondent speaking woman, she says, "So did you speak to the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, about the agenda that they sent us?" He said, "The who?" The CBC. He said, "Nah. Do you know them? Can you set up a meeting with them?" You know, so I could talk. She was like, "Oh, she all around the news reports. Oh, under news stations. Oh, I guess Trump figured since I'm black, I must have known the CBC." Yeah, dummy, because you're black, you should know the CBC. Like, You're a fucking White House correspondent. Why wouldn't you know the people that's part of the CBC? You know what I'm saying? You're black. You're in the fucking White House. Why wouldn't you know these people? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you mean to tell me Trump opens the door again and says, yo, okay, let's set up a meeting and talk this agenda shit, and you back away from it? Mm-hmm. No, you walk up to that, even if you didn't know nobody. You say, okay, I'll set it up, Trump. Next time I see you, I'll tell you what they say. And then I'll go out there like, yo, can you direct me towards the Congressional Black Caucus? Oh, it's a left? Okay. Hey, are you about to? Hey, can I ask you a question? All right, listen. I'm able to set up a meeting, you know what I'm saying, with them. Can y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do that because it's like, it's not about you, and it's not about me, and it's not about Trump, and it's not about 2018. You see what I'm saying? It's about the next 100 years. So if you want to see some type of change within us, we got to make the right decisions and have the right policies made. We rely on people to make our decisions, and that's why we keep failing. You know what I'm saying? This is a perfect fucking opportunity for us to do something. Even if we'd have been like, yo, the Eagles turn around and they say, listen, you know what we want? I don't know nobody that I want part of, right? But this is what I want, Trump. Trump, you said that you're going to green light factories. I want to get, I want funding, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that, towards a project where we can get factories and that produce, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you don't have an economy mind and a mind of building a structure that will solely protect black people and sustain us, feed us, clothe us, and to compete against other economies, when you don't have that mind frame, then you don't understand what to do. You see what I'm saying? So, that's unfortunately how what happens. You know what I'm saying? We don't got that mind frame. So we look at the white economy like that's our economy. So then we can't say, well, Trump, put your money into the Red Cross. No, what we're going to say? No, the Red Cross is going to take the money and, you know what I'm saying, they spend it to the, right, none of that's our shit. Put that money towards Wells Fargo or something. No, that's their banks still. So it's like none of that's just going to fit. So it's like if you have a economy mind frame, and that's what I'm saying with the babies, raise them up understanding that everything that you do has to be to better and improve the black economy, the black experience, the black people. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to better your race. So when you out here, I'm about to kick in doors. Nah, man. You pull your child to the side and be like, listen, you're better than that. Your role is to improve the race, not to kick in people's doors. That's destroying. That way, that's their morals. You see what I'm saying? We don't have that. Music is destructive. The imagery we watch about us is destructive. The news about us is everything about us is destructive. So we think that we're destructive people. So that's why we move the way we move, because then you start to think, I'm like this because I'm black. So because I'm black, that's the reason why I act like that, because all you see is black people doing the same shit over and over again. So then you have that same mind frame of just the continuous of destruction. So that's why we can never think about building. You see what I'm saying? But we got to change that mind frame. We got to change that mind frame to get into building. And the thing that we got to build is an economy, because that's the only thing that's going to protect us. You know what I'm saying? You guys call in number 646-716-4654. The black race need one aim, goal, and destiny. So I'm going to play the other part of this Trump. It's 10:30. Let me see. This Trump thing. It's at the 10:30 mark. Yeah, because that's my whole thing. I'm a strategist. You know what I'm saying? I like to strategize. I'm not into that emotional shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if you like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about all of that stupid shit. I'm like, yo, let me make sure I can benefit. Here you go, right here.
It's a beautiful thing. You got to get it right. You got to get the right people. I am looking at Muhammad Ali, but those are the famous people. And in one way, it's easier and people find it fascinating, but I want to do people that are unfairly treated, like an Alice where she comes out and there's something beautiful. What I'm thinking to do, you have a lot of people in the NFL in particular, but in sports league, they're not proud enough to stand for our national anthem. I don't like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say to them, instead of talk, it's all talk, talk, talk. We have a great country. You should stand for our national anthem. You shouldn't go in a locker room when our national anthem is played. I am going to ask all of those people to recommend to me, because that's what they're protesting, people that they think were unfairly treated by the justice system. And I understand that. And I'm going to ask them to recommend to me people that were unfairly treated, friends of theirs or people that they know about. And I'm going to take a look at those applications. And if I find, and my committee finds that they're unfairly treated, then we will pardon them or at least let them out. You know, I don't have to do that. I'm not looking to grandstand. We got enough grandstanders in this town. I'm just saying, for the league, if they have people, if the players, if the athletes have friends of theirs or people that they know about that have been unfairly treated by the system, let me know. Well, you know, if you think about it, that becomes celebrity advocates. But they know a lot of things that we're not going to know. They've seen a lot of abuse and they've seen a lot of unfairness. So if they have, how do you like that idea, David?
That's the whole thing. My whole shit is this. What is the problem with taking advantage of an opportunity? That's my question. Meek Mill missed an opportunity. Why? Because we want to sit here and talk about emotional conundrums. Race. He's a racist and he's a this, he's a that. Well, you know what? Are you smarter than the racist? Right? That's why. Are you smarter than the racist? If you know that Trump is a racist, also know that he's, 70-something years old, right? 70 or some shit?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so you see him over there? You mean to tell me you're not stick enough to run game? That's what I would do, run game. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to, all right, so let me, all right, you giving up that opportunity or whatever? I got some people, okay, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some of these people home, because he out there talking about 3,000 names he got floating around that he looking to pardon. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man, this dude is a grandstander. He's somebody that he wants to be. If Barack did one number, he'll do more than that. So use that to your advantage. You see what I'm saying? No, we're gonna sit back on the sideline and cross our hands and just say that's stupid. Use that to your advantage. If he's sitting over here looking around like, oh, people saying that I'm racist and I'm looking like I'm racist, I don't want to prove. I don't want to show that I'm racist. Hey, I need a black person so I don't look like I'm racist. Hey, black person, can you? We need you to help Donald Trump look like he's not racist. This is what I'm gonna need from y'all. You see what I'm saying? ABC is like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do that. Hey, I got an idea. I have an agenda that you can pass. Show me on it. It goes through, and black people should be happy. Right, and it got your face on it. It's like, look what he did for more black people, because he's building his list. Because see, this is what nobody remembers. After the 8 years, Trump is going to have a presidential library, all of that shit. So when they write the story and they keep saying he's a racist and shit, he's padding his list to show, look at all the stuff I did for black people. Look at all the stuff I did for Latinos. Look at all the stuff I did for gays. Look at all the stuff I did for women. Look at all the stuff. Look at the economy. Look at all this. Look at that. So when you sit there now, when you try to say he's a racist, no, he's padding his shit. He ain't stupid. But here's the question. Are you stupid? Because you could have been sitting over here now using this person that's like, all right, we need to fill some of these slots. Okay, we need you over here. What you need? All right, well, this is what I need for this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? Because, again, don't waste it. Don't sit there and be like, all right, Donald Trump, we want you to pardon the Sada Shakur. You know good and damn well they ain't going to pardon the Sada Shakur. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's tied into the Fraternal Order Police. So when you're looking at the people to pardon, make sure it's not no cop killers or accused cop killers, because that's not going to fly. You know that's not going to fly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look at the political prisoners who might have got caught up there for like mail or, you know what I'm saying, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Nonviolent shit. I was there for a long time and change and things of that nature. If they're accused cop killers, don't even waste the name. You know what I'm saying? Because you know good and damn well, he tied into the police. You got to use them for the Democrats. You see what I'm saying? We're supposed to be playing both sides of the field, Republicans and Democrats. What you could get away with the Republicans, you get away with them. It ain't going to be police and guns and all kind of shit like that. When Democrats is in office, then you can sit there and be like, yo, let's tighten up on these assault rifles. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this, let's do that. And then when Republicans there, it's like, well, you know, this is going to be, you know what I'm saying, they're more about business and shit. So you know what? Let's get them to deregulate some more shit so we can benefit off of, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you play the game, you know what I'm saying? But no, we want to stick to one side, and it's like, that's not how you do that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's competition to do shit to better us. Just like what the brother PLO Lumumba is saying, you have to be in the same direction. And that's what all of them different brothers were speaking on in Africa, from Haile Selassie to Nkrumah. Africa has to move in the same direction, has to produce for itself, take care of itself, be its own person and independence. Then, like always, when you don't see that vision, you turn and you look at yourself, and you just look at your self-wealth. So then that's when you can see your people starve, because you now have to invest into the people, invest into the land, invest into the economy.
Yeah, because they ain't paying nothing yet.
Then you have to make sure to ensure your economy, as in sending your material to different places. You might have sanctions. You may not have treaties with these people. You may have a hard time trying to get it off the ground. It may be too much of an effort to get it off the ground, as in me just collecting the money and traveling to Europe and having my children go to their schools and, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. So it's like your people end up starving. So it's like you have to have the people have to be ingrained with the understanding and the importance of the upliftment and advancements of black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to be ingrained within you, where the money don't mean shit. And even if you give me the money, I'm using the money to the people. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, the money, none of that shit means shit. And it's all about the people. And that's the only way for it to work. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it has to be taught in leadership. You know what I'm saying? That's how it has to be taught in leadership. Most definitely, that has to be the motto. Is ingrained for that, because if the leadership is corrupt, everything else falls. You know what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate part. And that's my whole thing. So when I'm listening to Trump talk and shit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, y'all can hate Trump and all kind of shit like that, but I thought the goal was for us to be independent and self-sufficient. I thought the goal was for us to be able to stand on our own. I didn't know the goal was for us just to complain about which president is in office. And we're literally playing the role of the white people during Barack Obama's administration, when they cried and bitched him home when he became president. So that's why I'm sitting over here like, we can't fall for that same trick. We can't fall for that. Yeah, we can't fall for the okie. We got to be more strategic and really understanding that, I mean, shit ain't sweet, but we're comfortable. That's the sad part. We're comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And when you get too comfortable, what happens is you live at the edge of life, and then once the reality kicks in, that's when you fall over. And you go from middle class straight back to poverty and shit, all because you live in and you're not preparing. And that's what we got to do. We got to prepare as a race, because, again, the system is economy. Just to show the silliness of fighting against this white system, the system is their economy. How are you fighting against their system when you're buying the material for your signs at the stores? And you're you know what I'm saying? Like you're participating in their economy while fighting against their economy. And then once you finish fighting against their economy, they're gonna go back home and use and go back to their system. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, because if nobody tells you what the system is and you think it's this thing in your head, then that's what you're fighting. But in reality, it's an economy. And the only way for you to destroy an economy is to have an economy. So, in essence, the fight that you're having with the system is never going to be won, because you don't have an economy. So then what's the point of fighting against the system? Well, I'm going to pick up my guns and all kind of shit, but pick up your guns and do what? But you're going to shoot up the white business establishment, like, because that's who's on top of the economy. So at the end of the day, it's like it's all a waste of energy if we're speaking in reality. If we're speaking in fantasy, then, you know, y'all believe and wish upon the stars that y'all do. But if you're talking in reality is you basically got to take life by the horn. You got to take life by the horn. So you got to say to yourself, okay, let's say you're the person that just works. You don't know what you want to do. You have to set yourself up within the tools that the system that you work in have set up for you. That's your 401k, making sure that you're taking the max. You're taking the money out to the max. So if it's like 6%, it's 6%. If it's higher and the company can match you higher, take more. The more money that come out your account, that they take off your salary because it's before tax, it lowers your tax bracket. So that money is all pre-tax. So it goes into that's pre-tax money that goes into your 401k. So technically you good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let as much money leave. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just going to go to your 401k. That's your own personal shit. Make sure you have CDs and, you know what I'm saying, have at least $10,000, you know what I'm saying, in your own disposable cash that you can touch. Have that in there. Build your credit up. You know what I'm saying? Incorporate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Have an LLC, your EIN numbers and all that shit like that. For the ones out there that's business people, definitely make sure you're taking advantage of the business side. Have your EINs, your LLCs and all that shit. Build your shit up. You know what I'm saying? Get them loans. How you get the loans? You build your business credit up. Get your business credit card. Pay a little, buy a little, pay a little, buy a little, pay a little. Build that credit up. You'll be able to get you $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 and shit like that. Sometimes you gotta crawl, but it's gonna take time, but it's gonna be worth it at the end. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, make sure you're taking advantage of the tools that this game have to offer within the system. Within the system, you got to make sure that you're taking advantage of everything. You don't want to be sitting around here basically working against yourself. And there's things that you could do, like having a 401k, but you're not taking advantage of it. Or you're taking advantage of it, but you're not taking the full advantage. You're not taking 6%. You're only doing 3% or 2%. You know what I'm saying? Because you want all your money and all that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit makes sense. So you got to move smart. You might have the person outside there that's doing illegal shit. Even if you're doing illegal shit, you need to be taking portions of that money and putting money up something. How? Maybe not through a bank. So if you can't do it through a bank, another way you could do that is through an E-Trade account or one of them trade brokers accounts, because them trade brokers accounts are / banks. So what happened is when you open up, let's say, an E-Trade account, you can get a card, like a savings card, not like a checking card, but it's going to be like how a plastic card where you could just take the money out, like a savings account. And you can, if I'm not mistaken, you might be able to get checks too, but you can get an account set up where you can get the money direct deposited into your E-Trade account. You see what I'm saying? So the point is, it's like, so even if you can't get a checking account, you could do that. You can still get you a bank. You know what I'm saying? So boom, you get that. Learn how to damn trade. You can flip your money through the stock market, flip your money through there, and then that's clean bread. That's clean money. But it's like, you got to understand the game. This is a capitalistic game. This is a game about money. This is a game about competition. This is not a game about whining and crying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're going to sit over here and all you're going to do is just complain about shit and complain about what's right and what's fair and all kind of shit like that, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad, because I'm gonna tell you a little secret about the whole Democratic Party side right now. This is a secret about the Democratic Party. Hold on. I'm about to play this Morning Joe. This is the Democrats. They're clueless. So when I'm telling y'all Trump's going to get a second term, believe me.
What is the answer to the question of why the generic ballot is as close as it is, and why President Trump, if he's as bad as you all Democrats say he is doing as well as he is right now? Look, I think you guys have part of the problem right, which is that we as Democrats have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, where did we lose touch with the American people? You know, why is it that with such a terrible president in the Oval Office, we're at the worst position we've been in since the 1920s, in the White House, the House, the Senate, and state legislatures across the country. And I think that we're a party that needs to have our own vision. It's not enough just to oppose Trump and tell everybody how terrible the Republicans are for not standing up to him. Let's talk about what our vision is for the economy, you know, for our national security when the president's being so reckless around the globe, and how we're actually going to bring Trump back into government where it's been so terribly lost. So I know the message has to be tailored district by district. It'll be a little bit different wherever you're running for Congress. But if you had to summarize what the Democratic Party stands for right now in the age of Trump, what would you say? We're still the party of opportunity where everybody in America, no matter where you live or where you come from, has a chance at the American dream. And I think that a lot of Americans are feeling left out right now. And
And to Trump's credit, he recognized that, and he saw that people are being left behind by this changing economy. People aren't making what they used to make. They can't support their families the way they used to. But Trump's solution is to go back into the coal mines or pretend that people are losing their jobs to immigrants when actually they're losing them to robots. Jobs are just getting automated out of existence. So we can be the party that says, here's a way for you to have a meaningful role in the economy of the future, not go backwards, not make America great again, but make America better than it's ever been. Then we're a party that has a leadership to win it. His argument to that would be unemployment is incredibly low right now. Wages are going up. Consumer confidence is very high. How do you answer that? Well, I mean, look, he's so early in his term, and he's benefiting from a lot of the economic policies that Obama put in place. He's there now. He can make that case. No, look, I understand he can make that case, but I don't think that anyone really believes that we're going to solve the economic problems of today and tomorrow by going back into the coal mines.
Now, this is Congressman Seth Moulton, and told you that. So what they said in the beginning was that if Trump is such this bad guy and stuff like that, yada yada yada, why is he still getting these good ratings and approvals and support? Basically, like, why? If y'all saying he's doing so bad and terrible, why is I like to say, the real information, the real polls and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Why they still getting all that support? And he's like, I agree with you. There's no way that he should be that close in the polls with us. So we have to come up with an idea, an agenda of what we really stand for. We can't just be against him. This is what black people are saying we're resisting and holding out for. These Democrats. They're clueless. They just said they got washed out. They haven't done this bad since the 1920s. And I already told you they're about to turn it back on you. Want to compromise the 1890 something, I think, or whatever. But listen to this question right here that this lady asks the Congressman Seth Moulton.
Leader of the Democratic Party. Who is the leader of the Democratic Party? Yeah. That's what she asked. She asked me that. Does my silence say something? Yeah. It does. This is the challenge that we have right now. Yeah. And I don't think that people are...
Yeah, that's the challenge that they have. That's what he said. This is the challenge that we have right now. She asked, who is the leader of the Democratic Party? He had no answer for that. And then said, that's the challenge that we have right now. So, again, Trump is going to be in there for 2 terms. And what we're going to do? 8 years of sitting out, not doing nothing. 8 years of Barack was nothing. 8 years of Bush, nothing. How much of that y'all going to stomach? How much of that can you stomach? So we're gonna keep doing this over and over again of nothingness. And when we get to 100 years, do we say it's a choice, or do we still blame it on racism and white supremacy? These are dumb decision making that's going on. And if you can own up to that, then you know what what you got to change. So before anything, let me make sure I get into the U.S. debt clock news. The saving per family is still dropping. It's now at $4,000. Yeah, it's at $4,000. So, yeah, that's interesting because, as you know, it drops from 10,000. But one thing I will say is there is a lot of new stuff under the U.S. debt clock. There's a lot of there's a lot of corporate tax revenue, tariff tax revenue, payroll tax revenue. So there is more little revenues and stuff that popped up since Trump been in office. I will say that. Small business assets versus corporate assets. Yeah, household assets. Yeah, there is a lot of new revenue coming in through the whole Trump situation. But the whole point is, how are we going to reach our hand out, black people, and get a piece of that pie? You can't get a piece of that pie crying on the sideline. That's my whole argument. What's more important, worrying about who like you or worrying about getting a job done? Which one? Let's compete. Let's stop crying and stuff like that because it's not going to work. It don't matter. When we have the Democratic side, we're patient and we're humble. And we're willing to wait. And we're willing to watch nothing happen. So I don't understand, like, where's all the vigor that we have now to do nothing? Like, is doing nothing the new doing something? Is that what's going on? Is doing nothing the new doing something? Is that what I have to look forward to? The new wave? Doing nothing. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit down here and I'm just going to wait out an 8-year term that I think is going to be 4. Because that's what it is, right? You think it's going to be 4. So you count it and you're thinking like, oh, there's no way he's going to get 8. The news, my old trusty news friend, the one that told me Hillary was going to win, they're telling me that Trump is doing such a horrible job, but you don't even see the setup. Trump's setting it up right now where, like I said, for his library, North Korea, South Korea, moving Jerusalem. Come on, man. Y'all don't see the play? Y'all don't see the play? So if he gonna do the play, add something to protect yourself. Nope. We're not gonna protect ourselves. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna let 50 years go by with us fucked over. And we're going to teach our children about white supremacy and how the white man is the reason why we're in the position that we're in. All while forgetting that it was decisions that we made. Like not speaking up for policies and speaking out or for or to fix different reforms and different bills that could help black people. By turning our nose when the question came about, okay, well, what do you want, black people? Tell me, what do you want? What do you need? We ignored it and never fought for ourselves, never fought for our freedoms and our independence, never fought for our economy, never fought to protect ourselves, never fought for policies or to add bills, never fought. And then another 100 years go by, and our children are going to suffer. And all we're going to keep saying is the same thing. The white man did it. The white man did it. The white man did it. And as we continuously blame the white man, nobody's going to say to ourselves, what's the solution to change? And if you do say what's the solution, you get so romanticized by the Black Panthers in the 60s and the civil rights movement that you start to believe that it's not as easy as what it could be. You start to look at things like it must be this romanticized black beret leather jacket, rifle in the air, black shades, smoking cigarette. You know what I'm saying? Dressed up in the suit, flat shoes, on a bus, singing Negro spirituals and shit. Sitting at counters, laying on floors, getting pepper sprayed, and watch out for the police and all kind of stuff like that, and blocking traffic. And this is what it's all about. Disrupt. But then once you go home or jail, the next day happens, and what happens? The economy rebuilds. The white economy rebuilds. But the black economy is still not here. It's the black economy. That's what we need. And until that gets strong, we will never be strong. Until that gets solved, we will always have problems. What we could do in the meanwhile, write agendas, talk to politicians, force bills, start businesses, incorporate yourself, clean your credit, start to save, teach your children, educate your children on business, send them to engineering schools and classes. Things to do, a lot of things to try. But not doing anything, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Thinking that, wait until the Democrats get into office. I told you the Democrats ain't got no no leadership. The Democrats have no leadership. So if the Democrats have no leadership, then who do you plan on beating Trump? See, that's the game. That's the game. Watch this right here. This is called hard numbers. Trump approval ratings and Roseanne coverage. Watch this. And remember, I already played a clip, I want to say the last show, where I talked about how the news people are saying how they play a lot of Trump because it gives them more ad revenue. They don't care about real news. They care about Trump because it's more exciting. So who do you think they're going to want for 8 years? 8 years of excitement? Or 4 years of excitement? In their words, in 4 to 8 years of boring politics. This is the country that you live in. Now listen to this.
Some hard numbers every week. Signal highlights some global hard numbers defining our world. So today, let's kick off with 87. So 500 days into Trump's presidency, his approval rating among Republicans is 87%. That is the second highest own party approval rating for a president since World War II. The only one that is higher than that was George W. Bush's approval rating among Republicans in the wake of 9/11. Fascinating. He has certainly to strengthen the base and to consolidate the Republican Party. The question, of course, becomes, is this Trump's Republican Party, or does the Republican Party is now Trump? Well, he has refashioned the party in his image. I mean, it's an extraordinary, for someone with no background in politics, he has the most sophisticated understanding of politics of anyone we've seen in the generation. He has reshaped one of the traditional parties in America. And I think one of the big questions is, can the Republican Party continue to, are there fissures within the kind of base that is kind of defining the party now? And the sort of the Republicans who have misgivings about Trump's approach. Will the Republican Party split over the next couple of years? Who knows? But for now, Trump is doing an excellent job of keeping his base aligned, and that's something we got to watch going into the midterms. I wonder, though, if part of it has to do with the fact that not only perhaps is Trump a good student of Republican Party politics, but the media. He's a very good student of the media, having come from the media world. And when he launches those tweets, for a lot of people, people hold their heads in their hand and they go, oh my God, this is the President of the United States, and he's tweeting all sorts of things. He knows that news organizations, media organizations are going to chase all these individual tweets. They're going to be outraged and they're going to bluster, and that is only going to solidify his base. And in watching the tea leaves, Republican Party leaders know that they will live and die politically by that base. That's absolutely right. I mean, Republicans, people say, well, why aren't the Republicans standing up to Trump who's breaking all these norms of American government and all these things? These people are listening to their voters. Right. It's not about what the media thinks. It's about what those people are going to think. Yeah. Exactly. And as you say, Trump's very effective at using that. Yeah. All right. 20. So last week, U.S. cable news channels devoted 20 times as much coverage to Roseanne Barr's tweet scandal as they did to this, in my view, much more important story about Puerto Rico, in which a new report said that up to 5,000 Puerto Ricans who are U.S. citizens were killed as a result of Hurricane Maria last year. It was an astounding kind of imbalance in coverage. But look, I think what it tells you is that the American public is sort of on this outrage IV, right? Right. And it raises a big question about whether the media is covering the right things at the right times, right? Clearly, the death of 5,000 American citizens as a result of government negligence is a bigger story, in my view, than a tweet scandal, right? I would think that it should be not just for the president, not just for members of.
Yeah, so that's that. That's CBS News. But yeah. So that is that's a clip basically talking about they had more coverage of Roseanne tweet than Puerto Rico. Why? Because they racist and they don't care about, because they care about money. They care about ratings. And there was more ratings and more people cared about Roseanne than Puerto Rico. That's why. So when you understand that, you can't sit over there and talk morality and morals to people that's not moral. You people talk about money, the bottom line, ends. So if it's a situation for you to make a deal, if it's a situation for you to say, yo, you know what, let me take advantage of an opportunity because this guy is about to allow me to free some of my homies or people that I read about or my family or some shit like that, and I could use that shit, let me do that shit. In Meek Mill's case, I could have went up there and asked for a pardon for my goddamn self and had Trump pardon me. But you let Jay-Z convince you not to do that. Come on. That's called dumb decision making. That's what that's called. That's called dumb decision making. And we'll make these dumb decisions and then turn around. Another dumb decision. We sat here and we went against C. Dolores Tucker. C. Dolores Tucker said, yo, if these boys glorify going to jail and thuggery, who is the black woman going to end up marrying? C. Dolores Tucker is a motherfucker. No, she's not a motherfucker. She told the truth. Dolores Tucker told the truth. She never attacked black men. She literally attacked the white man. She literally attacked the white man. She didn't attack the black man. What the black man do? What the black man always do. Side with his white daddy. Side with his white daddy against the black woman. And all the rappers came to attack C. Dolores Tucker. And C. Dolores Tucker was correct. In 2018, we should be able to say C. Dolores Tucker was correct. And try to change where we made these mistakes at. But we don't. We forget that how many black politicians wrote or signature is on those crime bills that incarcerated black men for them lengthy periods of time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we can keep worrying about the wrong shit, but with no strategy, and that's group strategy or individual strategy, as in for your family or for self. Without no competitive spirit and drive and understanding of how this capitalistic society works, we're going to fail. We are going to fail. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's sink or swim. And a lot of times, I'm not seeing black people swimming. I'm seeing a lot of sinkers. And it's not because we don't know how to swim. It's because we don't know the rules to the game we're playing. The game that we playing is Monopoly, but we're not buying no property. We're just going around the board, collecting money, spending money, sometimes going to jail, but we're not buying nothing. So after a while, you start to say, oh, motherfuckers cheating. Because you're watching everybody else that play, and you're like, how are they winning and I'm losing? You might even say to yourself, damn, look at them buying those properties with their stupid ass. I need all my money to get around the board. I ain't trying to spend all my money that quick on property. You'll have weird mentalities like that. We're in the economy, black people. We are in the economy. That's what Black Wall Street was, an economy. So for us to do this, it's a whole mind frame change. But unfortunately for us, we got to start from a beginning, some of us. So those who in the beginning, I say start with your children. You got some black people who already have a business. Black people who already have a business, if you don't have your funds inside of a black bank, I would ask you to move your funds to a black bank. And not only do you move your funds to a black bank, before you move your, well, not before, because you might not be doing it with the white bank. See if you can speak to the branch manager, whoever, you know what I'm saying, whoever the person is for that bank that you put your money in, speak to that person, get to know that person too. Who housing your money. Because you a businessman. And that's where you can get your loans from. You got to think different. We got to think different. We got to look at this game different. We got to look at this whole shit different. We can't look at it on the side with the eyes of losers. We can't look at it on with the eyes of underachievers or scaredy cats. You know what I'm saying? People that's lacking confidence. We can't look at it like that. We can't be in this game thinking that we can't make it, we won't make it. Because if you do, you already lost. We got to look at the game the way it's supposed to be looked. It's supposed to be looked only one way, and that's with eyes of winners. The great thing about being black is we're innovators, we're creators. So that means we can always generate money. That's trade. That's trade. Look at hip hop, multi-billion-dollar industry. Think about if we had control over it within our economy. Our economy would have shot from number, let's say, 2 in America, to a strong number 1, with the white man being number 2. You know what I'm saying? With the white man being number 2. We could have been right now for black president and a strong economy. We could have been, we the Democrats, and the Democrats represent the black people in the black economy, and the Republicans represent the white economy. All of those are tangible and plausible realities. But it can only be achieved if you have an economy. If you don't have an economy, none of that shit could be achieved because you got to work. And when you work, you just get enough money to stay in debt. And as long as you're in debt, you have to work. And you stay into that continuous cycle. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in that cycle. Look into the LLC if you got product to sell. Look into a sole proprietor if you don't. You got 3 years, you could file for 100% losses on your taxes. If you're thinking about a business, be a sole proprietor. Nobody's going to sue you because you have no product. You turn around and you use a portion of your home as your business. Your phone is your business. Your car is your business. Your food, all of this. All of that. Then you sit back and you wonder to yourself, how do these white people do it? How do these Asians do it? How do the Africans do it? They read the rules. That's it. You didn't know there was rules. You thought this was called a country, and I'm a citizen, and there's laws and all kind of shit like that. Yeah, but you ain't understand the business talk. When you understand the business talk, then that's a whole different conversation. That's a conversation. The business talk, that's the conversation about really how you make it in America. You think them Africans out here being cab drivers and stuff like that because it's just in their nature or some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Nah, this is about being your own boss so you can benefit from all the business rights and business laws and stuff like that we miss out on. You want to benefit off that? Be that sole proprietor. If you got an idea of a business, if you got something to sell, go straight to that LLC. Limited liability company. So you have no liability. You have no liability. Nobody could, if somebody sue you, it doesn't affect your personal shit. Look it up and check it out. Look it up and check it out. Because these are the things that you have to look at. We're in a capitalistic society. The aim and the goal should be the upliftment, betterment of black people, your race. The only way to do that is to make smart decisions. And smart decisions is competing against everybody. Don't be afraid to compete. Don't be afraid to fight. We come from that. That's in our bloodline. But if you stay scared, then you're going to be conquered before the fight even starts. But this is In Black America Radio with your host,